Repairing stuff isn't really my thing, but this radio is something I've had a little go at. The original problem was that this button here, the power button, that one there, was a little bit difficult to turn on and off. Underneath there's just some dome switches, just metal domes loose on a PCB and held on with sellotape. So what I did, that one's fine, the off button. The on button was just different, I don't really know why. So I took the sellotape off, maybe it got a bit old or something, put insulation tape on instead, which is a bit thicker. And I could see then from the indentations in the tape that the alignment was correct. There's two prongs, one to the side of the dome and one in the centre of the dome. You press that one and it's in the centre of the dome. It does seem to work better now. So that was the original problem, which is sort of fixed. I mean, I didn't really do anything, just put some tape on it. And then I noticed this button here was a little bit strange, so I took some, well actually the problem for that button there wasn't working at all. It is now. The prong that was going down onto a tactile switch on the PCB had broken off, so I used some PLA filament and a soldering iron to weld that back on. That now works. Feels quite nice as well actually, and hopefully it'll be strong enough. Then I noticed there was a switch missing here, and so what I did was 3D print one. So I tried 3D printing with the same sort of rounded profile, and that came out absolutely terrible, as spherical and rounded things tend to do, at least on my printer. So I gave up with that and printed this, which is a, well, it's a lozenge shape I suppose, isn't it? It's not really, I'm not sure what shape that is. It's a rounded cuboid. So that's one of those, and that's what's in there at the moment. And I printed two because it tends to get a bit hot if I print one, so I used the trick of printing two out to cool down one while the other one's printing, which worked fairly well. I also had to reduce the filament factor down to about 80%, so I must have a thick filament in that printer or something, or the calibration's a bit out. So what I did there, all these switches are just held on to the plastic of the front case, and that gives them a bit of a hinge. So what I did was just put that in there and then weld some plastic on the end here to hold it in place. So it's hinged at this end, there's a bit of foam there, and then the button's in the middle. And then just put some of this filament, 1.75mm filament, just use that as the prong that presses down on the switch on the back. So I didn't bother 3D printing that. From experience I know that my printer just cannot print reliable prongs like that. That was from the Electronica MK52. I actually cut off filament and then I think I had a hole in the keys and just pushed it in the hole, glued it in. And now that works too. So there's a new switch on the front, everything else is working, all the switches are back, and it's ready to go again. So it's just a bit of 3D printing, a bit of welding, and a little bit of insulation tape there.